Hi class, this is Kareen Colin. I am your teacher for FSN 315, Nutrition and Aging. Today I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about the syllabus. I'm going to do the syllabus this way just to save time in class. It usually takes me over an hour to review the syllabus in class, and it's kind of a waste of class time because we have so much more exciting stuff to talk about. Also, I'm going to be emailing you guys a link to this video before the quarter starts. So hopefully this can help you maybe get ahead of the game if you want to get a head start on assignments or just be aware of textbook status, etc. before we get rolling. So let's just start. I'm sharing my screen with you and I have the syllabus here as well as behind us PolyLearn. So day and times of the class, 12 to 2, it's in building 10, 231. My name, my email, my office. I have moved to the food science building, which is really cool. If you knew where Dr. Grant Holcomb's office is, that's where my new office is. So I have a really nice new office. Final exam, as far as I can tell, December 9th, which is a Monday, 10 to 12. I would like you guys to double check this. I don't think I made a mistake, but I have been known to make mistakes before, so just please confirm that that's correct. My current office hours, Monday mornings, Tuesday and Wednesday afternoons, or by appointment. The course description, nutrition issues in the middle and later years, changes in organ systems, nutrient needs, functional status, and food preferences as adults age, nutrition and chronic disease, nutritional assessment and screening, nutrition-related healthcare, and social services. So this is a 4-unit class. What would I say? Prerequisite, you have to have taken 210 or equivalent. I may have some transfer students in the class. Textbooks. There is a custom textbook available in the library, and it has a picture of a red apple on it. It will, like I said, it is available in the library. I'll put it on reserve. It is also available in the bookstore. The custom textbook is a copy of a few different textbooks. So one of them is this one. This is actually a newer edition than the one I used. And then the second book that it's a kind of combination of is this one. So what the publisher was able to do for me is take those two books, chapters from each of them, and make them into this custom text. That being said, I did that when I first started teaching this class. So that was about 2014-15. And so while 90% of the information is still very true and solid, you guys know how nutrition can change. And so, there may be studies in there that have had new studies come out. All three or any of these textbooks can be supportive to you in the class. Like I said, this one is a combination of the two. This textbook reads like research articles. It's a little bit more difficult to read, but has some good information. And then this text reads pretty easily. I actually really like this one. This version of it just came out 2020. You don't have to buy the textbook. It may help you. It complements what I'm going to talk about in my lectures. My lectures originally were based entirely off the text, but as I've taught the class, I've updated them with new studies, new information, and just other research I've done over the years. So some students who feel that they come to the lectures and they didn't quite grasp the topic or they want to read more about it might enjoy having the textbook to do that. Other students who feel that they can come to the lectures and take good notes and pay attention might feel that they don't need the textbook. I do give you guys my lectures on PolyLearn, but they're not complete, which means the slides that I present in class won't have everything filled in, and it's your job to sit there as a student and listen and take notes on what's missing from my slides. So if that's something that's kind of difficult for you, or that you don't want to do, maybe having the book could help. But like I said, it's not required. You can maybe talk to people who have taken the class previously to see if they needed it or not. All right, that's about the book. Journal articles. I'm going to be posting journal articles on PolyLearn. You will be reading them. I try to update the articles every quarter. I can't update every single one, but I do my best so that there's something interesting. Some of them are pretty easy to read and others are very complex reading, and you'll be answering questions that go along with the articles. Generally, the questions are going to be turned in, typed in class, but I do have one submission that's online for the questions. And so those are on PolyLearn. And then podcasts. I am a huge fan of podcasts. You do not have to listen to podcasts. I love actually a lot of podcasts. I probably have 40 different ones on my phone, but 3 of the most pertinent related to aging and 3 of the, in my opinion, most scientifically accurate ones that I also think are pretty non-biased. I listed here. So Llama, Live Long and Master Aging, Found My Fitness, Dr. Rhonda Patrick, and The Drive with Peter Tia. And so if you want, if you're at the gym, you can scroll through those podcasts, pick an episode that might interest you, and you might learn something. Dr. Rhonda Patrick and Dr. Peter Tia supplement their podcasts with show notes. So if they talk about something in a podcast, you can actually go back and see the reference that they're referring to, which helps you fact check if you're into that kind of thing. Zoom online conferencing. I'm actually using Zoom right now to record this. In the future, if I have to be absent, I may use Zoom again to record another lecture. It's kind of like Skype, so that's the Zoom conference room. Student learning objectives. I'm going to let you guys read these on your own, but these are some of the topics and our learning objectives for the class. And I've tried to design the assignments so that we meet these objectives and so that you learn everything that we want you to learn. Okay, emails. I do use Cal Poly email lists. So if you're using a personal email and your Cal Poly doesn't forward to that, that could be a problem. I do use email pretty regularly, probably at least weekly, maybe more than that. If I've forgotten to say something in class, if I wanted to remind you guys of something, if I have a volunteer opportunity, I'll send out an email. So do check your email. If you're emailing me, I don't generally check after I leave Cal Poly campus because I go pick up my 3-year-old and he consumes my attention until I'm exhausted and I go to bed. But I generally check pretty early in the mornings before school, most mornings. And then weekends, I do try to check over the weekend, but I just might not be as responsive over the weekend as during the week because it's my weekend too. Anyways, policies, absences. There are going to be a few in-class activities. Some of them I have listed on the syllabus. Some of them I don't. So going to class is really important. 1, because you can take the notes. 2, because you can participate in these in-class activities. And 3, because I notice if you're there or not. And it just helps you form a good relationship with your teachers and also connect with other peers in the class that you may be able to work on group projects with or study with. If you do have a reason for being absent and it's something serious, obviously I'm going to excuse it. If it's a documented medical reason, obviously it's excusable. Just go to the health center, have them stamp a card, bring it to me, no problem. If you are legitimately sick, you should go to the health center, but I also don't want you to come to class if you're legitimately sick because your other classmates don't want to get sick. I don't want to get sick. Nobody really wants that. So if you are sick, try to get help, get treated, and just take care of yourself and we can work things out. So yeah. Being professional is important. Etiquette is important. Being respectful is important. We're going to talk about a lot of topics in class that could be sensitive. We're going to talk about diseases with aging. We're going to talk about death and dying. We're going to talk about getting old. We're going to talk about health disparities with aging. what your beliefs might be or what your opinions might be about those different things. So I just ask that you have an open mind and are really respectful towards other students in the class. University statement on conduct. This is directly from the university. Yeah, you guys can read most of this on your own. I'll just say some highlights. The DRC, if you're a student who uses the DRC, the Disability Resource Center, the earlier you can let me know, the better, just so I can make sure to give you extensions on assignments that you might need or accommodate any sort of needs that you have, just so I can help enhance your learning as best as possible. University statement on cheating and plagiarism. This is big, and it is now taking up about a page of my syllabus. So this is new from my previous syllabuses or syllabi. Cal Poly does not tolerate cheating. We do take it very seriously. It could result in failing an assignment, failing the class, suspension, expulsion, etc. So it is considered very serious. It will be brought up with the department head, etc. So please do read this policy on your own and just don't cheat. If you don't cheat, you don't have to worry about it, but don't cheat. Yeah, so don't cheat. Sorry, but we will know if you cheat, and you will not perform well on tests if you've cheated through assignments, etc. So we take it very seriously. Statement on diversity and inclusivity. As some of you may know, if you've been at Cal Poly already, we're really trying to become a more diverse school, and inclusivity is something that we should have always been doing and are going to continue to try to do. But we need to be respectful of everybody. Everybody is different, and that's what makes us really special and unique. And every culture is different. Every religion is different. With food, there are so many different preferences, restrictions, beliefs, ages, just economic statuses. We have such a very diverse class here at Cal Poly and students here at Cal Poly. And we want to include everybody and just be respectful, be open-minded, not be exclusive, not be closed-minded. And I like to point out that I think diversity is more than skin deep as well. I think a lot of times people see diversity as having a range of students that have different skin tones or different skin colors. But I think diversity is much, much greater than that. And I think especially within our nutrition department, keeping that in mind is important. So I try to honor diversity, and we've undergone training for diversity, and it's just really important to your learning. You'll be working with diverse people in the workforce, so practicing at Cal Poly can help. Grading and assignments. They're due at the beginning of class. If you're going to be absent, it's best if you can give your assignment to somebody to turn it in for you. This is because for many of the assignments, I'm going to be grading them all at once, or I'm going to be giving a packet to my grader. And so if I grade them all at once, I'm looking at a grading rubric, or my grader's looking at a grading rubric, and then we enter the grades all together. If I get yours late, it tends to get lost and or not graded by the grader. It just doesn't work out that well. So try to turn it in at the beginning of the class. Even if you are sick, you can drop off your assignment or give it to a roommate just to drop off. If they're late, they'll lose 20%. So that's not that bad. It's still worth turning in late assignments versus not turning in something at all. And please staple them. This class isn't so bad with lots and lots of pages, but I'm going to have over 100 students this quarter, and so sometimes I'm putting papers in my bag, and if they're not stapled, it's really easy for them to get lost. I'm a little bit uptight about the stapling, but it's really to protect you and your own assignment. So when I go to grade it, I have all of it, versus thinking that you only did half of it or part of it. Extra credit. So I have a couple extra credit opportunities that are listed, and more may come up during the quarter. And if you're getting a head start on this, you could actually think about doing some of this now. One of the extra credit assignments is very easy. All you have to do is find an article related to nutrition and aging. If it happens to be on a topic that we're covering that week or that day, great, but it doesn't have to be. So you just print the article. It doesn't have to be from a scientific journal. It can be from just general media, but it can be from a peer-reviewed journal. You put your name on it, you turn it in, you get 3 points. Another assignment that you can do for extra credit is a video interview with an elderly person. I would prefer this elderly person be at least 60 years old. If they're right on the verge, that's okay. But I would prefer them to be at least 60. So maybe an older person you work with, maybe a grandparent, an uncle, a friend's mom or dad, some teachers here at Cal Poly, not me though. Anybody that's that old, might be somebody you volunteer with. And I think that on PolyLearn, I have some example questions you can ask them. I'll double check that. The video is usually anywhere from like, I don't know, 2 to 5 minutes. And then we can show them in class because we learn so much from our elders and they are just amazing and they have really good advice. And so I like to learn like what their secrets are to aging, what their habits are, how things have changed, what they like about aging. You don't have to ask them all the questions I have listed. You can make up some of your own, but I just have some ideas for you. If you turn it in before the midterm, it's worth 6 points. If you turn it in after the midterm, it's worth 4 points. And that's because, like I said, I do like to watch them in class. And I find that towards the end of the quarter, we're just running out of time in class and we don't get to watch that many of them. So it's worth it to turn it in early. Quizzes, there's going to be online quizzes. That means you have to log into PolyLearn and take the quiz. You're going to use the syllabus to see when the quizzes are due. Sometimes in PolyLearn, I give you a little extra time to do the quiz, but I want you to use the syllabus due date. So when you do go to log on, your internet isn't broken, PolyLearn hasn't crashed, Mustang Wireless hasn't gone down, and you have plenty of time. The quizzes will come from the class lectures, and I think that's the majority of what the quiz questions will come from. They're usually true, false, multiple choice, and I'll kind of list and tell you guys in class what they're about. Right now they're hidden on PolyLearn because I like to update them each quarter and make sure that I'm quizzing you on what we've actually talked about. No assignments are accepted finals week. Everything's turned in before finals week. This includes extra credit. And there is actually quite a bit due dead week. I'm really sorry, but I'm giving you a heads up now. So prepare to have it all done dead week. Be adults. Don't let your dog eat your homework. If it does, print some more. Bring a Scantron that will go through the machine. Just that kind of stuff. Grades are generally not rounded up, so do not email me asking me to round yours up. However, in some cases, I may make exceptions for outstanding students. An outstanding student is one who attends all classes, turns in assignments on time, participates in class, demonstrates they want to get the best grade possible by doing all the work. So yeah, like I said, I don't do a lot of roundups, and I can't do huge percentage roundups, but if you have a 79.9 and I can look through the class attendance activities and say, see that you were always there, I'm probably going to give you a B- instead of a C+. Things like that. So here's the breakdown of assignments. Articles, they're generally worth 5 points each, but some of them are worth more if they have more questions, because some actually will take quite a bit of your work or quite a bit of your time to answer the questions. One thing with the articles is sometimes students forget to answer all parts of the question. So when you're doing the articles, make sure you're answering all parts of the question to get the best score possible. Your answers don't have to be like paragraphs and paragraphs. They should generally be like short answer or a couple sentences. They don't have to be huge paragraphs. Yeah, so that's a little bit about the articles. 60 minutes, 90 plus video and questions. This is a assignment that technically could be done anytime, but it's going to be due it's actually going to be due over November 11th, which is a holiday weekend. That's really mean of me. But I didn't want to add it to the end of the class where we're going to have a lot of other stuff. So this is an online assignment. You watch a short video that's probably pretty enjoyable. You answer questions and you submit them. Project preliminary and community service project, I'm going to get to in a little bit. Vitamin mineral presentation is going to be a in-class presentation that you're going to do with your peers. And then quizzes, I talked about the quizzes a little bit. Midterm and final, 100 points each. Short answer, multiple choice for about 60% of the test, and the rest will be, or sorry, I take that back. Multiple choice true false is about 60% of the test, and short answer is the rest of the test. Yeah, and the quizzes, the midterms, and the exams are meant to be the hardest part of the class. So you should study appropriately and take good notes in class. They are not meant to be easy. They're meant to test your comprehensive knowledge of the class. Okay, so here's the syllabus. I've got, for the most part, book chapters in red that kind of correspond to what we're reading if you did want to follow along. I've got some in-class activities listed. November 18th, I am not going to be here. So that Monday, I am canceling class. Yay! But you guys aren't going to get away scot-free. You guys are still going to have some little assignments due. It will probably just be the quiz and the article. I probably won't do an additional assignment, but I will probably do like a 1-hour lecture that I'll record on video. So November 18th, you can make a note to yourself, no class. November 25th, also no class. Final exam is posted here. Volunteer project. This is at the very end. So this is kind of my last part of my syllabus. And yeah, I will say the syllabus is subject to change. I do sometimes have to change it, especially quiz dates and quiz times. I won't make them earlier, but I might make them later. And I might cancel one. We'll see. Okay, so volunteer project. The volunteer project, so now I'm on Polylearn. Let me show you a little bit about Polylearn. Here's the syllabus. Lectures, I highly recommend printing the lectures. You can print 6 slides per page or whatever you want so you can take notes and fill in. I really, really, really recommend printing them. Or bringing like a laptop or tablet so you can type over them in class. You will not be able to write enough notes to cover everything that's on the slides without having them for support. I will also update the slides sometimes during the quarter. So these are mostly up to date, but I may update them the day before class or something. Vitamin mineral assignment is right here. 60 minutes, 90 plus assignment. Anti-aging supplement, we'll talk about more in the end of the quarter. Extra credit, here's some question ideas for that video. And then the project, that's the last thing I want to talk about. So there is a 100-point volunteer community service project associated with this class. You get 50 points for just volunteering, and you get 50 points for writing a paper about your experience. The goal is to get you out into the community and work with seniors. Seniors are a diverse population, and they're different than you, if by nothing else because of their age. But believe me, you will find many, many other differences and diversities within them. They are amazing. They are fun. They are smart. They're kooky, they're loving, they're caring. They're just really great. You can go to many different places to do your volunteering. It's going to be 10 to 12 hours of volunteering over the quarter. 10 hours if you have to travel to Paso Robles, Santa Maria, etc. 11 hours if you travel to Morro Bay, which is Garden House, and 12 hours if you stay within San Luis Obispo. So it depends on how far you have to travel, how many hours of volunteering you need to do. There will be representatives from each agency coming to the classroom to share about their agency, hopefully the first or second week of school. They haven't confirmed yet when. But I do have some contact information for you here if you wanted to reach out and maybe figure out where you might volunteer ahead of time. Also, when you volunteer, you do need to turn in a permission slip, and you will have a timesheet that's signed. If you want to wait until the representatives come to class, I'm going to be handing out the permission slip in class and handing out the timesheet in class. If you wanted to get started early, you do need to sign the permission slip early and email to me ahead of time. And you could print the timesheet to bring with you. So there, if you click on this document, descriptions of what to do at agencies, a Word document should come up, and it talks about some of the places that you can go, as well as their contact information and what you might do. So Meals That Connect is formerly Senior Nutrition Program. They do delivery of lunches to seniors, as well as they do congregate meal sites. One of them is in the Anderson Hotel, which is downtown. So often what students do is they go to the Anderson Hotel before the mealtime, they help set up the room, they sit with the seniors while they eat, and then they kind of help clean up the mealtime. You could also go on a ride along to deliver meals, or you could work in the kitchen at Meals That Connect. If you work in the kitchen, you won't be working directly with a lot of seniors. So I would prefer that you don't do all of your hours in the kitchen, because I really want you to work with seniors. But you can do some. And the good thing about the kitchen is they open at 5 a.m. and you can generally just show up to the kitchen. So if you have a busy school or work schedule and 5 a.m. is the only time that works for you, you could do some of your hours in the kitchen. Here is the contact information for Julianne and Tina. Usually Julianne comes to class and talks. You can go in pairs, or you can go single by yourself. It doesn't really matter. CAPSLO has a really misleading name because it's actually in Paso Robles. So CAPSLO is an adult day center where adults with mild to moderate Alzheimer's disease or dementia go to socialize with other adults, do activities, and have some light meals under kind of a supervised practice. This gives people who care for those adults a little bit of a break so that they can go to work or take care of younger children or just go to the grocery store, relax. You can go there, you can talk to the clients. They do a lot of games. They do, bingo, they do trivia. They do a lot of arts and crafts projects. They do eat a few meals and snacks, so you can help with setup. You can observe what they're eating. You can observe, do they have any difficulty chewing or swallowing? Do they notice smells being different? Do they notice tastes being different than you would expect? Does it take them a long time to eat? Do they eat really fast? Is it difficult for them to drink? What do they look like? Do they appear well nourished? How's their hair, their skin, their nails, etc. So really I'm going to talk about the other sites too, but really at all of these sites, you're observing and interacting. And I recommend bringing a tiny little notebook or I don't want you to bring your phones to take notes in. It's just seniors don't really like that. Tiny little notebook, 3x5 cards, whatever, to maybe jot down some notes. And you can write down names of seniors you meet, because later when you go to write your paper, you want to use those notes to help you remember what you saw and also how it related to classroom learning. So did you see people using a walker or a cane, or having difficulty carrying their tray because they had tremors, or forgetting that they had already eaten a meal, things like that. So you do want to write down some notes. Garden House of Morro Bay, this is a 24-hour care center. They have patients with pretty severe Alzheimer's or dementia. Since it is 24 hours, you can, in theory, go 24 hours, but they really like you to go at meal times. That way you get to observe the nutrition, observe the meals, actually help with the meals. Some students who go to Garden House actually feed the seniors, sit with the seniors, help them drink their water, etc. They do have a piano there. They love you to play the piano or sing if you're good at singing. They would love you to bring a guitar or any musical instrument. They do have a few of their own pets. I would not bring your own without asking. Yeah, they have a garden, etc. So one more disclaimer about Garden House. They cook all their food from scratch. It's meant to be kind of like an anti-Alzheimer's diet, really healthy foods. So they love you to help with them in the kitchen, and I don't mind if you help them in the kitchen. I just don't want you to get trapped in the kitchen where you can't talk to any seniors. So if you do go to Garden House, make sure to let it be known that you would like at least a few hours outside of the kitchen so that you can sit with the residents. You will learn stuff about them cooking for them because they have certain diet textures. Some of them have to be on soft foods, pureed foods, thickened liquids. But you want to sit with them. And then food bank. You can go online, sign up to volunteer. You can help in the warehouse or go to a distribution site. I would love it if you could sign up for a senior distribution site. If you do work with food bank, I will say you have to be a little bit outgoing in order to get a good senior experience. Often the seniors will just come up to the desk where you're giving out the food at food bank or the table, and they might take it, they might say a few words, and they might leave. So if that's how it goes, you won't learn that much about them. So if you're an outgoing person, if you're somebody who's bilingual, that could actually be really great for food bank. You could also be involved in making test recipes and giving those out to seniors. So that's food bank. And then Wilshire Community Services, they have all sorts of things. They have adopt a grandparent, they have student callers, they have just buddy systems. You could cook, you could shop for a senior, you could play games with them. Wilshire likes a longer term commitment, but that is not a bad thing at all, especially if you're trying to get into graduate school or a dietetic internship. Most graduate schools, whether it's dietetics or nursing or med school or PA school, they do require that you have volunteered. So doing this a lot isn't bad. You have to do it in this class, but it wouldn't be bad to kind of establish that relationship. They do allow 1 quarter assignments, but they do prefer if you would maybe be willing to work with a senior for longer. So that is a little bit about the different opportunities and kind of the goal. And so I think I'll wrap up this video because it has been a little lengthy. And then we can talk more about it in class. So hopefully in class, you guys can bring some questions that you have about these opportunities. And then when the representatives come, they'll also help give you backgrounds on the agencies and answer more questions that you might have. Thank you guys for listening. I look forward to this quarter. This is my favorite class, and I hope you guys like it too. Okay.